Welcome to our program devoted to changing the conversation about our generation, Millennials. I'm Jordan Crowley from Brigham Young University.
I'm Ryan Avalis from the University of Houston downtown.
We're the co-hosts, along with 4 other students from around the country who are a part of a nationwide movement known as the National Millennial Community. Panelists, please go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Cheryl. I'm from the University of Hawaii West Oahu campus.
I'm Reese Johnson from the University of Missouri, Kansas City.
I'm Julie Livers from Brandeis University.
And I'm Jade Murphy from UNCG in Greensboro, North Carolina.
Today, we're having a conversation about career advice for the millennial generation. We want to focus on 2 specific aspects of searching for a career and starting a new job, and that would be networking, the importance and power of it, and humility and perseverance in the job search. So, Ryan, why is it so important that we're focusing on this right now?
We've come to a point in 2017 now where we've experienced an economic recession in our young adult lives. We've found that college tuition rates are at a higher point than they've ever been in our experience before in the history of the United States as well, and also at a time where college educations are the most effective way at bringing us into a professional environment and helping us jumpstart our careers. That's a hard thing to navigate.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure, and yet we're right on the cusp of it. Just out of curiosity, how many seniors do we have here?
Yes.
Okay, so Shale, looks like you're kind of the odd one out. Obviously, you're relatively new in your college career, and maybe you're not as anxious to start as maybe the rest of us are. But what insights do you have about our first topic, about networking, and how you're going to use that in searching for a job?
So networking to me is really important. That's part of the reason why I joined the National Millennial Community, to meet very like-minded individuals who strive for great things. So along with these relationships we're building, I think that goes hand in hand with networking. We meet people, and it's sometimes people believe networking is I'm taking and I keep taking from somebody else.
Yeah.
But I believe it's really important that we look at it as what can I offer to somebody else, and how can I help somebody else grow and build strong relationships with them. Because in the future, what I like to think is that I would come across a job that maybe not necessarily for myself, but maybe it'll, I meet you and it leaves an impression on me, and maybe this job would be perfect for you. I'm always gonna think who can this job go to if it doesn't suit me? And I always hope that people will think the same of me. You leave a good impression on somebody, they'll think of you in the future, and things will just connect, and they can help you grow from there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I completely agree with everything that you said, Shale. And I think that the most important thing that you said is to not think of networking as this throwaway activity that we do. And I think that today, especially in the age of social networking, and especially with LinkedIn, we think about it as accumulating connections and how many people do we know, and who can we talk to, and how can we get in a room. And I think that all of that is important. But the most important thing to remember is exactly what you said. This is really about building relationships. And it's about understanding when you network. If you know someone and they can put you in a room, they're putting an extension of themselves in that room.
True.
And that's a big responsibility to have. So no matter how you pursue networking, whether you're successful or not, you always have to remember that it's more than just yourself, and you can't go about it with a selfish attitude.
Definitely.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with that point, Reese. I think that we millennials often have very much of an inward focus when it comes to searching for a job. And what I see often, including myself, what I've come to learn is that we really focus on ourselves, our background, our education, what we want to get out of the job, when really it should be the other way around, right?
Yeah.
We should focus on the employer and how we can cater their needs, emphasize how I can be an asset to your company, how can I bring value, and be part of the solutions to your problems that you face at your company. And that's a completely different approach.
Right.
Definitely.
And what I've come to understand is that we need to apply that more to every aspect of the job search. So for example, when we talked about networking, right? I am a firm believer in the importance of networking. I found most of my opportunity through networking, but what I've also come to understand is that there's a huge misunderstanding about what networking really is.
Right.
A lot of people think when they think of networking is, okay, so how can others be of benefit to me? When really it should be, how can I be of benefit to others? And creating that value at the beginning of a relationship creates a really strong groundwork for that relationship. And then opportunities arise organically, which is much better, right? So I always encourage others to grow their networks, because when you grow your networks, you grow your value as a person and you grow the value you bring to any company. But you have to be smart on how you do it.
Definitely, and I really love that you pointed out that it's not just a tool. It's not just about how can I use someone to get ahead. And I think that that perfectly ties into our second topic, which is having humility when you are pursuing these jobs. Because if you aren't able to humble yourself enough to realize that it's about giving back, it's about creating your own networks for the sake of helping others, that's when you're going to get the most out of it, and that's when you're going to be able to give the most. So, Jade, we have talked recently, and I know that you are looking at a lot of jobs right now. I know that you've done so many interviews, and you have a lot to offer about perseverance and how you have to just keep trying. So what do you want to share about being humble enough to persevere through some difficult job searches?
Definitely, Jordan. I definitely have applied to jobs, and it's been very tiring. But I think that one thing that I had to realize is that being in the technology industry, it's very competitive. And everyone in tech wants that high-paying, cool tech job. And coming out of college, sometimes that dream is not, always the first thing that I'm going to be able to do, or anyone in tech. So when I'm applying to jobs, I really had to widen my search and like you said, have humility, but still continue to persevere and realize that whichever tech job I take, whether it's, tech support or it's at a high corporation, I can still learn and increase my technical skills and my value overall, no matter what job I go into. And I think that that's important when applying, when job searching, just being humble and understanding that whatever opportunity you get, you can still learn from it no matter what.
Definitely.
Jade, I can't help but completely agree with everything you just said. Mainly because it's taken me at least a long time to make sense of where I want to go, where I'm finding my passions, and how I wanted to pursue them. I also started in tech and found that it wasn't quite a right fit for me, but it still had a lot of the skills that I had. I wound up going then into psychology, and now here I am in marketing, and I've actually found a passion and a bliss for doing so. It's taken exactly that perseverance in order to do so. It's also taken a lot of humility and realizing that in my own struggles, there has been much to gain and learn. And it's also an excellent opportunity for me to be able to ask and reach out to the network that I've started to develop and grow over a number of years for feedback, for insights, for how I can better build value for the people that I'm speaking with.
Yeah.
And I think if I hadn't gone through all of these things, one, I wouldn't be where I am now. Two, I wouldn't be as comfortable with my career path and the way that I'm going about it. And I really begun to define a level of success that makes sense to me, that I want to shine and offer to others.
Absolutely. I really appreciate that you learned humility, but not only that you had these experiences that brought you to be humble and to understand perseverance, but now you're going to keep being that way. It's not just a one-time thing. You didn't just learn it and then say, well, that's over, and now I can do what I want.
It's a passive way to say it's a lifelong pursuit, but it's a constant education.
Absolutely.
And it's a lot more exciting to me that way.
Yeah. Well, I am just so grateful that all of us could be here to share that, because some of these things, if we could have learned them sooner, we might have had a much better attitude about our job search. There would have been a lot less discouragement. And now that we know that it really takes humility and perseverance in finding our networks and in finding a job, starting our career, hopefully we can get to be where we want to be. And I hope that this conversation is helping our audience also when they're searching for their jobs, whether you are the millennial generation, Gen Z, or you've been in the industry for 10 years. I think there's a lot of things that these perspectives could be applied to you. So Ryan and I just want to thank our colleagues from around the country for joining us today. We also want to thank all of you in the audience for listening in on our conversation. If you'd like to help us change the conversation about millennials in America, please visit our website at nationalmillennialcommunity.com. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you.